Welcome everybody to our show. This is Custom Fab Garage on our channel Octane TV on YouTube. Make sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button, and on top of that, make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you can get all the new content that comes out weekly and even every day.
Here's our next project, Cadillac CTSV wagon. This one might be one of the biggest projects we have ever done, with all new audio, custom enclosure. Pretty much this whole entire vehicle is going to get a whole update on audio, including new radio, new speakers, new amplifiers, new custom enclosure, everything. This will really show off what you can do with these Cadillacs. Typically, we just replace the radio, but this one we're going to go all out on. Alright, today on this Cadillac CTSV, we're going to be doing an XAV AX3200 head unit from Sony. One of the best head units we pretty much use in all of our vehicles. The dash kit we're going to be using is a 993018 HG. This is the black, gloss black edition for the Cadillac CTS and CTSV. It's a whole replacement. And obviously, you know, the XAV AX3200, they also make the 5000, the 5600, 7000, and the 8000. So those are all really good head units. We'll put a link down below underneath in the description where you can just click on it and buy it directly from Amazon. They'll have it to your house in a couple days. This is the steering wheel module that we're going to be doing, which is an ASWC. We'll put the link down there for that as well. That's just plug and play for the steering wheel controls. Antenna adapter, 40 EU10. This is what it calls for, and a 40 EU30, I believe, but the EU30 is on back order for some weird reason, so we're going to try that. This is the new rear view, basically the rear view camera. The integration is an AXBU-CH-GM2. This is the harness. This is the replacement harness for an older harness, so they changed the model number to this, so hopefully that works. Everything's changing. All the model numbers are changing. And then these three items we order is an HDMI converter, and this is the audio video input that is going to go into this particular head unit. If most people don't know, the 3200 has an audio video input, one of the first ones I've seen to where you can just plug an audio video input. So we're going to try to trick it by using this audio input cable with this adapter, and then plug the adapter into the phone. So we're going to see if that works. Customer wants to try this, so I'm going to try it. He bought these parts. I'll put the link down below if it does work. So if that does work, then you can do Netflix, all that stuff directly from your phone through this adapter, through this cable, direct into the head unit. So we'll see if that works, but I'm not going to get my hopes up because we've tried it in the past with other little converters and it didn't work good, or the quality wasn't good. So we'll see if this works. Here is the factory radio before, so you can kind of see what it looks like. This is the motorized screen that does come up. This is the factory nav with Bose. This is a CTSV. It is also a wagon, so it is gloss black underneath this carbon fiber wrap. So we want to kind of show you what it looks like before, so that way you can see what it looks like before and what it's going to look like after. So here it is with the display on, so you can kind of see what it looks like before. All right, first step we're going to do is we're going to take off this piece right here. You know, you can use a plastic pry tool, whatever you'd like to do, and then you can, I'm pretty sure, I haven't done one of these in a while. Start down here and kind of move your way back here. Next step, we're gonna need to pull up on this, so we're gonna pull up right here. As you can see, when you pull up, it's gonna pull this whole piece up. I need to unplug this plug right here. We move the shifter back with the ignition in, that way we can get this out. All right, so let me show you this real quick. We unscrewed this because we were having a hell of a time getting this part out. Usually this comes out very simple. You just disconnect this chrome piece from this piece. So basically this piece is sitting there and then this chrome piece is sitting down in it. But we really had to pry it with the plastic pry tool to get it unwedged so that way you can get the shifter out. So if you have the shifter back, it's much easier to work with it with this chrome piece. You just slide it around and then move it out, okay? But it's much easier to work now because when you put this in park, you don't have this big thing hitting up against this, so you can get this piece out much easier. And you'll find out once you start pulling this out, it's much easier to do it this way. Next step, we're gonna remove this 7mm on this side and 7mm on this side down here on the bottom. Now this whole entire panel now, when you just pull on it, the whole panel is going to come up as well. The other parts that we're gonna need to do next is we're gonna need to pull this off and we're gonna pull this off. And the way you can get that is just with the simple plastic pry tool and it pops right off. This is this piece on this side, right here. This is this piece on this side, and when you pull it out, you're gonna have to push out and then pull out because of these little Loch Ness monsters that they have going on. So you just pull out, push over, pull out when you do this one. Once you pull this whole entire piece out, you'll get your plastic pry tool. You'll have to get up into this top part right here. It's hard because everything on this thing is wrapped, so it makes it kind of difficult to do. But man, this thing, there we go. Okay, so now that this part is out, there we go. Okay, so now that this part is out, what we need to do is we got to pull the shifter back. So you're gonna turn the ignition on, pull the shifter back, pull this part right here is gonna have to come back, and then you get that screen to come up. When you get that screen to come up, underneath down there, there's, if you can see back there, it's hard to see, you've got to get those bolts right down there out. You've got to get that one right there, that 7mm. You've got to get that out while this is up, while the electricity's on, because if it goes down, you can't get the 7mm out. That's kind of the hard part about this. All right, I kind of slid this thing over. You got to keep it all connected. And then you want to get this 7mm out here. You want to get this 7mm out back there. And there's another 7mm back over here. You've got to get those three out while this screen is up, while it's live. If you don't, you can't get this piece right here out. Now that we've got all those screws out, this thing should just, it's basically now the whole motorized piece will come out like this now, which is nice. It's awesome. So we removed this whole entire piece right here. The only plugs that you'll need to remove is this, and then I call it cigarette lighter plug down here. So you got two plugs right here that have to unplug. This bad boy is up. So when I turn off power, it should go back down. Perfect. So now it's all shut together so we can pull it out. We're gonna need to remove 7mm, 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 and 7mm here to get the DVD drive out. Here's all the plugs you're gonna remove. This comes down like a BMW plug. The way this does, you just push in on this and then slide that down. You're gonna have this plug here. That is the black plug that was on the bottom. So this is the only plug you have to unplug besides this one. And then up here, you're gonna have this blue plug, which I'm not sure, I'm guessing navigation. You're gonna have another blue plug, or black plug here, should be for your antenna, USB, XM, so is your gold. And then there's also another one. Yep, and then there's this one as well. There's a blue one as well. It kind of looks like an antenna, so I'm not quite sure what this blue one right here is for. We'll find out. Could be for something with the navigation as well. So those are all the plugs that you have. All these down here to unplug to get everything out, and then we're gonna work on getting the screen out. Here's the back side of the screen and what you need to unplug. 3 plugs of the back of this. These are the 3 plugs, black, gray, and blue right here. You'll want to do it while the screen is up because it won't come out this way. You want to do it while it's motorized up. So this gray plug plugs into here, And then out here, you have your video output. It says you just plug that in. I think the other harness will give us the rear signal lead, but that's where you plug this into. This is the backup camera integration plug right here. Okay, here's the harness. What you're gonna wanna do is connect the 2 red wires together, your yellow, your black. Those are your 3 primary wires. Basically, I would say 4, but the reds connect together. Those are what you're gonna connect to your radio harness. Then you're gonna have a green with a purple stripe, and that's gonna go to your reverse on your, if you have a rear view camera. And then you have a blue with a pink stripe. That's your vehicle speed sense if you need that. Some of these vehicles don't need it, some of them do, depending on the radio that you need for the navigation. We just zip tied all this stuff together so it's easy to put in there. This right here will plug into our ASWC. I'll show you that in a few moments, and this will plug into the back of the radio for the ASWC for the steering wheel controls. Made it super simple and easy. We'll wire this in and kind of show you, but this is as simple as it should be. The only thing I did was I took the speaker wires and put them over here. The main reason I did that was because we're not going to use speaker wires on this. So if you're going to connect Bose or non-Bose, you'll want to just connect these speaker wires right here to the back of your radio. But we're not doing that because we're using an aftermarket amp. So I just want to let you guys know, if you're wondering why I'm not connecting these, that is why. Just connect these speaker wires, the greens, the purples, the whites, the grays. That's it. Everything should work properly. Here's what you want to do is you'll want to plug this module in right here to this extra cord you have here for the ASWC, and that plugs right into there. And here's the back side of this. What we're going to want to do is we need to remove all these little tiny screws all the way around. Not these little ones, but the bigger ones that hold all the pieces in, because we want to get this piece out, and this piece out, and this piece out here. We want to get all 4 of these pieces removed and then unplug all this from that and get the big chunks taken out. So you want to unscrew all this stuff, and then you'll be able to unplug and then unplug. We have a lot of them removed right here, over here in this pile, so that we can get all these out. I did forget that these are Torx. I can't remember, it's either T10 or T15, I'll let you guys know, but you got to take these out with 4 Torx right here on the bottom. These 4 T10s right here. Here we took off the 4 Torx. We've already started pulling each piece. We're gonna pull this piece and pull this piece out, and then everything will come out. Forgot one important thing, you have to take out these 4 down here. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we got all that removed now. Basically, we're gonna pull this bad boy off right here. And then this whole piece will just come off. Okay, so here's everything is basically off, and everything is separated. So now we have this piece off and this piece ready to go, and we're gonna have to trim. Basically, we're gonna have to trim. I'll show you the diagram, this part right here. See this diagram, how it's labeled like right there? That's how we're gonna have to make this look. So I'll start drawing it on there, how this looks, and then we're gonna have to cut all that out. All right, we have our line marked where we need to cut all this out, make room for the double din to make it look like this. So before, and then it should look like this after. All right, so we went ahead and cut this with our almighty Milwaukee Dremel cordless. Not my best cut, but we cut it out like the picture. And you definitely want to make sure you cut at least like the picture. If you leave a little hanging, double din won't fit in there, just to let you know. It will get caught, and then you'll be really mad and you'll have to take everything back out and cut it again. So there's the diagram for the removed shaded area. That's what it looks like afterwards. Ours looked like a tiger kind of bit it over here because my Dremel was getting out of control, but that's pretty much it. And we're gonna start assembling it back all together. Here's the piece put on here, and you will want to put these little spacers right here, right up here on the top parts right here, because if you don't put the spacer, the screw will go through the piece. So you want to put the spacer so the screw doesn't go all the way through, just to let you know. Very important. Then we're gonna start assembling this piece all back together and putting the pieces back in one by one. Here's what they'll look like when you put the washer on them, and you can use the factory screws back on there, both sides. And this is what I'm talking about, making sure it's cut out, because that double din has to slide in here. If you don't have enough cut out right here, that double din will hit right here. So you gotta make sure you have plenty cut out. You won't have any reason for this to have to come back out and disassemble this whole thing and cut it again. All right, we got it all put back together. This is pretty much what it should look like after you get all the screws put in. Everything's all put back together. So now, basically, when you flip it over, it's going to look like this now. Sorry about all the fingerprints, but then you'll have your opening now for your double din. This is the USB adapter we're going to use, which is a mini, not micro, but a mini USB to USB. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our USB of the back of this, we're going to plug this into here and hope that this will plug into the factory one and it will make it work. So we can plug in there so we can use the one in the center console. Let's hope that works. All right, here's RCA. So we did a gray and a blue for the rear, and we did a white and a light gray and white for the front, and a dark gray and a blue for the rear. And then we're going to put the adapter on there for the sub.